feel like he lived his life in a way very similar to Jesus in that not being for self. That was the underlying thing. Because I think if you wanted to simplify and boil down Jesus to one thing, it's just like Jesus is love, which means myself is no bigger than yourself, and we're all kind of just the same thing. We're all in it together.
Yeah.
And so Bob Marley was very much that.
It was supposed to be that they were making like a Broadway type of show, and it shows something. I can't remember what it's called, but there's this song in there that's called "They Just Keep Moving the Line."
Is that the parents?
Yeah, like she's talking about, she's an actress. She's like a Broadway actress, and she's singing about they're doing a play on Marilyn Monroe. And she's talking about how they just keep moving the line as far as what you have to do to like be successful. But it just reminds, it applies to lots of things.
They just keep moving it. That's heavy because yes, to all that on all levels, they just keep moving the damn line.
They just keep moving the line. What's up, everybody?
What's up? What's up? It's your girl Triple F Queen Bola here.
No tagline wins, and we've got a special guest star.
Yes, tell us who you are.
Hello, my name's Asia.
Hi, Asia.
What's up, Asia?
I don't have a catchy intro. I feel so
oh no,
unprepared.
you know what? It took us forever to come up with this.
It was so smooth too.
It's just the practice. This
Very
is episode 87, so we've been doing it for a while. I tell you, the first whole season, we had no nicknames. In fact, hers is no tagline with because she couldn't come up with something. I was like, Whitney, come up with something interesting. No tagline?
No.
Okay, that stuck.
But it's true to her, okay?
That's
so
right.
I love
That's
that.
right.
I
That's
love
right.
that.
That's how
Well, we are happy to have you today, Asia. Asia's like an awesome, cool girl. We love her.
Happy
And
to be
so,
here. I love you guys too.
Yes. Anyway, this is BlerdTalk with Bola and Whitney. Now, Asia, would you call yourself a blerd?
Yeah, I do. I feel that I don't always present as a blerd.
That's okay, though. That's okay.
You got the cool girl vibes.
Right, but I don't feel that because in my brain it's giving very much blurred. It's just I grew up in the hood, so it's a hood blurred.
No, see, you know what? We need a word for that.
That's what it is.
That's the thing. But you could be a hood blerd.
I'm
You
a
could be a
hood
bougie
blerd.
blerd too.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a whole spectrum of blur.
Yes, I love that. I love, like I was telling you, I'm going to an event about thinking. So I love all kind of just talk about for the sake of figuring stuff out.
Exactly.
All right,
exactly.
now.
See,
Yeah,
that's a
I
blerd.
am a blur. I am a blur. I'm not super into like anime and things like that, but I'm very much like a nerd.
Yeah. See, there's so many types because there are definitely not all blerds or and even nerds. Not all nerds are into anime. Not all nerds are into superheroes or comic books. It's like you find like where you fit.
So
Some
what is
people are
it
science
then?
nerds.
What is the essence of the blurred?
That's a very
Anyone
good
can
question.
be a blerd. Like if you just like you could.
No,
blerd
you gotta
out-
be black. You gotta
You
be black.
gotta be
Because that's
black.
the whole thing.
But I mean, like, okay, let's go to one of the base parts of blur, black nerd. So anyone can be a nerd.
A black nerd.
Anyone can be a nerd about something, but it's about whether they really consider themselves to be or not. So like, you can be a blerd about like writing or English or grammar or like think pieces, like intellectual
Just
thinking.
things. Just
Intellectual
thinking for thinking.
pursuits. If you're like you're a fan of something, it could be you have a fandom of some type. I would definitely say a fandom of some type. Now, it doesn't have to be the traditional animes or anything, but if you're like, you game or you're like into certain books or something like that, then I would definitely be like, oh, I'm a romance
blerds.
novel nerd. Or
Because
I'm
I've been a blerd since I was a wee thing.
Yeah.
So you're not afraid to express deep interest.
Right. And you speak to your
Yeah,
eloquence
I
and
like
interest.
that.
So that
Oh, I
kind of
like
like
that.
really
Yeah.
pulls.
It's very
through.
succinct. I like what you just said.
I like
That's my thing. I take a bunch of stuff and then just I'm a process
Concise is good.
improvement.
See, I need you to be my AI editor.
Me too. Because I be verbose.
The word vomit that comes out of my head and like makes it.
Oh no, but then I word vomit too. I need someone to do it for me too.
I'm only good at doing it for other people. Like I can only like edit other people.
Yeah,
if it's
hard to edit
I'll be
yourself.
read everything, and I'm just like, I shouldn't have wrote that, or I can't. I need somebody to read this. And
I'll
then-
be at work and I'll be like, I'll tell somebody something. I'll be like, blah, 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 blah. Does that make sense? And it's like, it's not a, is it hard to understand? It's, did I make that understandable? Because I know that I can tangent all over the place. And so you're like, there's times where I'll be in a conversation, probably had it on the podcast as well, where I'll be talking and I'll stop mid-sentence and be like,
all the time.
what were we talking about?
All the time. And then you have to like go back and bring it back and like get out of the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
You know?
I go deep down rabbit holes. Or if someone asks you a question and then you get off topic and then you forget what the question was. You're like,
That's happened to me.
Because and so therefore, what were we talking about?
Yes. You know how you just like you keep going, and then you just wait a minute. Did I answer the question?
That reminds me of this episode of Family Guy, and Peter was talking, and then
I haven't
Brian
heard that
was
phrase
like,
in a long time because she used to say this all the time when we were in college. That episode of Family Guy, you used to say that all the time
because it's got so many funny references. But like Peter was talking, and then like he said something off the wall, and Brian was like, "Do you even listen to yourself talk?" And Peter was like, "I drift in and out." I feel like
Real. I drifted it out.
Oh my gosh! Oh Lord! I listen to the internal talk, but outwardly, I'm just like, you're right. You could drift in. You're just like, what am I even saying? I'm just gonna stop now.
Oh, sorry, everybody. By the way, this episode is on Bob Marley.
Oh yes, guys. So we're still in Black History Month. We're still in the month of love. I know Valentine's Day has passed,
and we decided to be bliggity black this month.
It's we black always everything. Bliggity black this month. This month, this is where you turn the blackity black up all the time.
You turn it on blickety.
Right. Ooh, I like that. Get it. Jump behind high five you.
Like,
you can't see it, but I high five you.
Show. Do y'all remember when it was like bliggity bliggity?
Scat, scat, scat. Yeah. That was my show. Oh
I
my
know
God.
that show was hilarious.
I was mad at ending.
No.
You got to check it out. It's hilarious.
Oh man,
Okay, so
there's
the
some
name of
sketches
it
that are not that
again.
great. It's Black Lady Sketch Show.
Yeah.
Oh, I
It
seen
has
Black
Robin
Lady Sketch
Thede.
Show.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe
Yeah,
this
yeah,
scene that y'all talking about, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
It's one of the ones.
What
It's like
season?
First
the lady
season.
gangsters.
It was where they were the gangsters and they were like wearing pink.
Yeah.
And they were their thing was like blippity blippity, and then I was like scat scat scat. And you're just like, oh god, it was ridiculous. Quinta used to be on it when she was on the first season, and then she became better.
What? She didn't become she
became too famous for the rest of them.
And it blew up, and we are very proud of her.
Yes, I'm very much
yes.
blurting out about Abbott Elementary.
I love Abbott Elementary.
It is so hilarious. Like every single episode.
Oh my
yes,
gosh.
they surprised. So I was every time I'm like my family, I'm like, y'all don't watch it without me. I don't care if I'm not home yet from driving from work. No, don't watch it without me. We're gonna watch it together.
Do they actually listen to you?
Yeah, they do.
Because my mom cheated on me once on The Last Kingdom. We was watching it together. Next thing I know, she done gone through 2 seasons.
Oh, she really cheated on you.
She did.
She was like, I'm moving on.
Well, she's
Let's
like,
move it
sorry,
on.
Whitney, it got good. I'm
She
like,
got things to do.
Oh man, yeah. So you guys, it's Black History Month, and I guess the month of love, and I think it was perfect that this movie came out on Valentine's Day in this month.
yeah.
Even though people were saying like with the critics and stuff, they're like, oh, this month is not the month to put out movies. I'm like, I don't care. This movie is, by the way, Bob Marley's One Love. It was like #1. It beat out Madam Web, which it was like very much highly anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
It blew everybody away. It's already made back more than it was, more than the money spent on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to post about it because Lashana Lynch, who plays Rita,
I love her.
she posted about it, so I had to share.
Can I just say Lashana Lynch is my celebrity crush?
Oh my gosh, I don't blame you.
Right?
And Lashana Lynch, if you
I don't
happen to
blame
hear
you.
my voice right now, girl, you so fine. All right,
I love her British accent
Plus
too.
one that Lashana Lynch is awesome. She has been, and she's kind of like, I don't know, it seems like she's kind of blowing up.
She is.
she is rightfully so.
Yeah.
I think she puts a lot of intention into her roles.
Mhm.
She goes deep into it, and the way she just emotes different, you know, in small, nuanced ways, the different characters and embodies them. Exactly. It was great. I first was introduced to her in Woman King. Ooh. That's why I fell in love with you, LaShawna, if you're listening. I fell in love with you. I was like, yes, I do everything Izoki says. I was like, yes.
She was fire in that film.
She ma'am. And so there's a lot of power behind that. There's a lot of power behind her role in One Love as Rita Marley.
Yes.
But there was also more restraint to that.
Right.
It wasn't as raw and unbridled as it was in Woman King. And so I haven't seen any of the superhero movies she was in.
Oh, okay.
So I haven't seen much else, but I'm excited to see what else she does.
Right.
Because I love you, girl.
I first saw her in.
She's great. I remember that was the one point in the movie where I was just wanted to be like, bitches, when they kill her. I was like, bitches.
I cried.
I did too.
I cried real tears.
I saw her.
Upset.
I saw her. You talking about Woman King, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. By the way, I just want to say that the critics in Hollywood and stuff totally slept on that film. It should have got some more awards. It should have got awards, but it doesn't matter because it was too fire. It was, and it was black women doing their thing, and they couldn't take it as usual.
It was too much women, too much black, too much Africa.
They're like,
not enough slaves.
You can have some.
Only Black Panther can do it. I don't understand.
There's like you can have either black or you can have women. You can't have black.
You can't have both. We're not ready for that right now.
And that's why I was like, I don't give a what the critics say. That movie was fire. And everybody watched it.
Yes.
I don't care.
Yes.
That's why we last year for the year it came out, we actually put it above Black Panther 2, even though we loved Black Panther 2. It was our number one film for that. Remember
I think
we did
it was
like
actually
a countdown?
for 2022.
Yeah, that's why I said the year it came out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
it was our number one because it's just.
It's fire. Anyway, before we get into
I'm sorry.
Before we get into all that, let's get to our main segment.
Yeah.
All right. So before we get into the review, we always have a chance to do what? Blurt out.
Yeah. Oh, that's a different.
I know. All right.
I like the vibrato too in the end a little bit too.
Just some music. Okay, so let me do what I usually do. Blurt out. Dun, 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 blurt out. Dun, 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 blurt out. Dun, 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 blurt out. Ba-dum, bum. This blurt out is brought to you by the letter B, because we what? Blickety black, y'all. Blickety black. Okay, anyway.
Blickety, scat, scat, scat.
So we usually let. Okay.
I wish there was video.
HBO, I really hope y'all don't come for us because we don't have.
I highly doubt they trade. Well, maybe they did.
Robin Thede is cool, so I'm like, I love her. She'll be
awesome,
fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Asia, we're gonna start with you because you're our guest.
Okay,
be our guest.
Okay.
We're gonna ask you what you're blurting out about, and when we say blurt out, it just means you're nerding out about something, whether it's
to the test.
What are you saying?
Tie a napkin around.
I told you. Didn't I
neck
tell you?
and we provide the rest.
Is that from Beauty and the Beast?
Yes,
right?
it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Anyway, blurting out is just about whatever you like are doing, something you experience, something you like,
something you're excited about,
or
and
if you don't have one,
hate it, but they have such passion behind it.
Right. If you don't have one, that's fine. You can kick it back to us, but we're gonna let you go first.
Well, honestly, I'm gonna be super transparent because I don't have time to make anything up, and that's too hard anyway. I've really been just blurting out on myself recently.
Okay. Hey, talk about yourself.
I really just been I feel like I've been marinating, and I've always been the product, but now it's like a little more seasoning, a little more flavor to it. Okay. And so I've just been really.
You ready to go on
being
the grill,
a better
girl?
person. I don't know.
Being your best self, right?
Literally that. Okay. It takes a lot of effort. I always say I don't know what I would do if I had like kids because I don't know how I would find the time in the day to really pour into how I am able to pour into myself now.
Girl, you've hit and touched a nerve.
Yeah.
Even with me, I'm always like, I thought I always wanted children, and then now I'm like, I'm so grateful I don't have any kids. And then I'm like, well, I messed them up. Oh my God. You know, it's very nerve wracking. The times we live in as well. So I don't ever I'll mess with somebody.
People are real serious about you having children. They like, why you don't got no kids? Why you don't got no partner?
Hey, that's another, we could talk a whole segment on the pressure to
have children.
Are you going to have kids?
Right.
I guess it goes away after you reach an age where they know you can't procreate. Maybe they stop asking.
Which is
me.
But up until then,
my brother took one for the team. He and my sister-in-law Tiff, thank y'all, because once my nephews came, pressure was off. Mom stopped asking.
Right.
I was like,
I feel for the
good
moms
looking out,
who have
Lucky.
one kid though. The moms that only have one kid, and then that kid chooses not to have any kids, and it's just like their dreams are dashed for grandkids.
Yeah.
I have a friend like that where she's
had
like,
more
well, it's not that she
kids.
don't want kids, it's just that it's not happening, and then she put like an age timeline for her because she hasn't met the right person, and she's like the only one of her mom. She's the only one for her mom, and she's just like, I want grandkids. You're 30 something. I need and she's
Well,
just like,
she should have had a
happening.
spare. You know how the
Yeah.
British do
Right.
it, heir and a spare.
That's what I
Right.
said too. Look, I'm an only child. My parents are still together, so they only got me. We all we got.
Aw,
And
that's
I
nice,
have
though.
always told them they should have had a couple more because their birthdays are 2 days apart.
Aw.
2 presents every year at the same time. Okay, then anniversary. Y'all both want an anniversary present. Y'all supposed to share, aren't you?
I know, right?
And then we celebrate you becoming one. So for all this, you
That's
should
like
have
those
had
people
more
who
kids.
have. That's like those people who have birthdays like in December, like in Christmas time or January, and I'm
Yes.
like, I just bought you a bunch of presents for Christmas. I ain't giving you another
Yeah.
gift in
They're
January.
like, come on, man. Come on, man. So, maybe in Mother's Day, Father's Day, I'm thankful to have a mother and a father, but you should have had a little more.
Right.
So I got some
Right. I
siblings
was
to
like,
go in
y'all
on
could have
these
done some
gifts
test tube
with.
babies. Like y'all could have done.
But you know
I was
what?
joking.
We would have
That's
been
not even-
probably
that's- yeah.
rougher than what it was. So that's probably great that we only had me. But you made a good point, Bola, because there's a lot of pressure on that one child. Okay, what you want to do? And I would love to be a mom, but I'm also open to if that doesn't happen for me. But my parents, I know they want. They want.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
They
that's
try
why
not
I'm
to
pressure-
put the pressure on me, but they still put the pressure on me anyway.
Right.
They think they're not. But they're
They
totally
are. They are. That's why I mess with people who have kids and be like, so when or people that I know that got married. So when the kid, I just do it as a joke, but I literally, I'm like, I would tell them, hey, no pressure. I'm not. I was like, your time is the right time. Because I don't. Because in my family, in a Nigerian family, it's as soon as you're married, that's like the next thing. Where's the baby? Where's the baby? Where's the baby? I have my cousin that just got married earlier last year around May, and somebody else who just had kids, she was asking, oh, you went to see her? I was like, yeah. She's like, where's the baby? I was like, she ain't trying to have them right now. She's like, what's she waiting for? She's 20. I was like, she just got married
They
last
gotta
year.
be ready, because otherwise you don't want to do that to a
She's
child.
like, what are you waiting
want
for?
a
And I was
child
like,
who is
Or
wanted
yourself. Slow
it
at
down.
the time they come, and you want a parent to be ready. I'm like, I would not want to. It's probably at this point not going to happen for me because I'm just not that. It's not a
thing you want.
It's not a thing
a
for
desire.
me. I wouldn't say no, but it's not like a thing for me. But it's like I would not want to have a kid of my own if I could not try to get to do as good of a job as I feel like my parents did. Like I felt so loved. Like the world can't do anything to me. I got so much love, and
That's
it's enough
awesome.
to last me the rest of my life.
But then
that's
it would
so
make
wonderful.
it would make you an awesome parent because you know what to do. But for
But
those
that's the
who
thing,
don't,
because my parents were awesome, I wouldn't want to give a child anything less than that.
You know where the standard is
Yes.
for yourself.
you don't know if you can reach what they
yeah,
did.
like I'm happy with my single independent life. So if I can't be enough of a nurturer and a person who's going to like split that and do all of that to give that to a child, I don't want to do that to a child.
Yeah.
Like
I
that's
get
not
that.
a good thing to do.
Yeah.
I get
to a
that.
kid.
If only some people thought about that before they were just like,
It seems like the
let's get it
people-
on, Tyrone.
It seems like the people who think the absolute least about that have the most.
Success, and then the
In
ones who want
having-
children
yeah.
so bad and they are
That's
prepared,
always
they're ready,
tough to see
and
a
then you
couple
don't see
that
them.
really wants to have a child and
Yeah.
they really, are struggling with it.
Yeah, that's really
All right,
difficult.
Asia. But Asia is we did go on a long
Yeah,
tangent.
you
but
really
she
going
is
into
doing,
like
I
the
love that.
intellectual
See,
stuff.
I told you
I
I'm
love
chatty. Okay,
No, we love it. No, we love it. I love a
talk
chatty
too much.
guest.
That was
No.
all growing. Look, that was always on my report card. Talking too much. Hey, we should have gave me my work then.
Well,
I
you're
wouldn't
the
finish
best-
so fast and kept talking to people.
You're the best candidate for a podcast, so it's fine. It's fine. All right, so I'm gonna go next. So it's Black History Month, and I do actually take concerted efforts to do Black History Month activities. That's just something that I like to do. So whether it goes to plays or go to just do something that's happening. I try to do
Make it
something.
black.
If it's not watching the films, it's something. Like, so we watched Origin. We watched this movie we're going to review. But I also went, luckily my work, allowed us, since I'm a federal employee, they just our agency allowed us to have a Friday where we get priority tickets for the National Museum of African American History and Culture. Great. And I mean, the tickets are free, but because you have to request them, you're not going to get them the month you want. Like if you're like, let's go next week. No, there might not be tickets available. You have to like request them in advance.
You have to like reserve.
Right. Yeah. You have to like reserve so they can monitor who's coming in, because people come in from all over the country just to visit every weekend, every day, whatever. So they gave our agency priority tickets so that if we requested them, we had the spots for that day. Like the day that I went, it was like 700 people were there just from our agency alone in all the different departments, you know? So I was able to go, and they gave me like a friend ticket too. So I was like, I grabbed my little cousin and we went, and I have never been into that museum before, and I absolutely loved it. I mean, it was so much. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, you could see like, okay, this is a lot, but it was just so much in how they presented information, how much stuff I needed to learn still. I didn't even have enough time. We were there from 10 to like 3, and I still didn't like look at everything.
Yeah, they say you should take a couple days to see the whole thing.
No, you need it, because I don't even think we went through the bottom slavery part yet, because I was just like, looking at all the stuff, the intricate information, even stuff that how they presented it, you just like, yeah, you know, the slave ships came, but I didn't realize how many came. I didn't realize the sheer number of people that were stolen, or the sheer number of people that died. Like they had all the names of the ships in some kind of fixture, and then they had the number of people on board and the number that died, or the number. Let's say the number that made it to the Americas. So basically, out of every 100 people they stole, only 46 people made it to the Americas. Every ship had like mad people down, and it was all over a course of a couple 100 years. And I just didn't seeing it visualized the way they did so smartly. I was like, dang. You really can't quantify this. And it goes to the point from the movie Origin that we watched about how the lady was fighting with the Jewish lady about, oh no, the Holocaust. At least there was a number for the Holocaust. But she was arguing that with slavery, the Atlantic slave trade, there's no number. There's the amount of people that died in passage or in walking or any kind of, is like more than the people that died in the Holocaust. And we're not trying to like rank we're not trying to do the charge of the Olympics, but she was trying to say, hey, you can't just push this aside either, you know? And I saw that, and I was just like, damn, just certain little things I didn't know, certain little bits of information. It was really nice. Plus, the museum has like all this high-tech stuff. It has like all this intricate ways of interactive way of displaying information for you to interact with the information. You can touch stuff, you can slide stuff, we went on a green book ride where we got to like pick and choose the destination on the. It was so interesting.
I feel like that would be an interesting exercise, almost like a traumatic video game, because I think of Lovecraft Country in the stuff.
Yeah, but it wasn't like that.
That was such a good show.
Oh my God,
who we gotta talk to bring that back? Are they gonna listen to this podcast?
We talked about Mr. Majors many times in our topics of blackness, and I don't think he's gonna make a comeback after what came out.
No, he killed it.
He's done.
It's dead now.
He's been skewered.
I held out hope for a little bit. I was like, nah, okay.
Yeah. But the best thing about this museum was, by the way, they also had like Afrofuturism. They had Black Panther's outfit in there, Wakanda Forever. I was just,
I haven't seen that.
I'm not gonna say nothing about it,
but I want to see it.
It's really nice. But the best thing was the food. The food in the museum, they have like a cafeteria, but they have a black chef cook every weekend, or every week there's a specialty chef, and it's like soul food that you can get every week. When I tell you, me and this girl were eating, I mean, the food was slapping. It was slapping your mama slapping. It was just, I was shocked at how good I was like, this plate was like $20, but it was like, it was worth it. You're getting like high quality food, and I was shocked because we had something called cornbread stuffed trout, and that thing was just delicious.
That sounds good.
That sounds black.
I took
as
a picture.
Hell.
Yes, it was delicious, and it was bomb.
And
Watermelon,
I would eat
black.
the whole
I'm
thing.
telling you, because you know when you go someplace, you're like, this food ain't gonna be that. That food was delicious. I was like, I've never had food this good in this kind of place. I was shocked. Everybody was grubbing. Like, it was delicious. They had like ribs, like short rib, braised short ribs, collard greens, a turkey neck, mashed turnips. a salad. I mean, sweet potato cobbler. Everything was good. I was like, me and her stayed a little too long in the cafeteria.
Oh, but the cafeteria need to be its own exhibit.
Yes, but the black chef, kudos to you because you just turned the thing on. Like the only negative I had was how expensive the gift shop was because I shouldn't have to pay $12 for a small keychain. I was mad. I wanted to support, but the only thing I ended up buying was a $12 bag of macaroni and cheese flavored popcorn. That's all I was going to buy.
But was the popcorn good?
It was a little salty, but it was very good.
Okay,
I ate the whole thing. It was delicious. Yeah, they had chicken and waffles, bread pudding, and macaroni and cheese. So I had to pick, and I picked that one. But I wanted a keychain or some other thing, or they had tons of books. Y'all know I love books. But I was just like, I can't spend my whole paycheck here. So they had African print jewelry and everything. They had scarf. Oh my God. And my cousin was like, this scarf is $80. I can't justify this purchase to my husband. You put this down. So I was loving it. It was blickety black and I loved it. I will definitely say, please go. And I want to go back just because I need to go really dive into all the information. It was so much. I have a few pictures on my page, y'all. Y'all can check it out. But yeah, it was awesome. So that was what I'm blurting on about.
I really want to go. I couldn't make it. But I would love to go. I have not been yet. Have you been?
I've been, but it's been before Black Panther was released, so then his suit wasn't there.
Okay.
Yeah, the Afrofuturism exhibit is new, actually.
Okay.
So it's one of the newer ones because apparently they have special exhibits that they changed. And because we knew we weren't going to have time, we didn't go back to the historical site.
Yeah.
We just let's go check this special one, and then we'll go to the gift shop.
Right.
So, because we the timing, we just need more time to do
It takes
everything.
a lot of time to get through everything.
Yeah, because I wanted to read everything. I love the history. They had pictures, art, everything. It was beautiful. Screens, voices, people speaking, telling you the stories while you're watching. It was awesome. Statues, everything.
Yeah.
I'm a museum girl, so I really enjoyed it.
Museums.
But it was
They're
I needed to do that, and I appreciate that. So for Black History Month activities, y'all, let's get it.
Okay.
What about you? What you blurting out about, Whitney?
Let's see. Let me bring up my little checklist that I put my.
Bless you, dear.
God bless you all. So let me see. My first thing that I'm blurting out about is a trailer during the Super Bowl.
Oh my God.
And you probably know which trailer it is. But
No, I don't. You know,
don't?
I didn't watch the Super Bowl. I watched the halftime show on YouTube after the game.
I tuned in for Usher and then tuned back out.
That's what I do. Then because I don't have cable now, I just wait for it to come online the next day, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, that's
okay.
all.
So that's what I do. So I didn't watch the game.
They dropped the first trailer for the Wicked movie.
Oh yeah, but I saw that was out before the Super Bowl.
I had not seen any trailer for it until the Super Bowl trailer. And it's funny because I feel like maybe a week prior, I was thinking to myself, I haven't heard anything about this Wicked movie. When is that movie coming out? I have been waiting 10 years for this movie. And they finally cast people, and I still haven't heard anything.
Right.
And then during the Super Bowl, they dropped the Wicked trailer. And Tiffany's sister was
did you
sitting
squeal?
next to me. I did.
That's what I
right.
thought.
I was like, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
They got some good vocalists. I mean, Ariana Grande plays Kristen Chenoweth's
And Cynthia
character.
Erivo is
And Cynthia Erivo, her voice is
fantastic.
awesome.
Oh my gosh, I just got chills because
She can
that
sing.
woman.
She can
Yes.
sing very well.
The first time
God.
she came onto my radar was and Bola's seen it because I forced her to watch it. But have you seen
Notice the word forced. She just breezed through that. She likes to make me a captive audience in her home.
I
Okay.
do. I'm like, oh, there's this movie or TV show you should see, Bola, and you're gonna watch it right now. You've got you're a captive audience.
Was she on Empire? Am I remembering that correctly?
I didn't watch all
No,
of Empire. I
don't
watched
think
some of
so.
it, but I didn't finish it. Even though I
Okay.
did love it for the time I did watch
She
it.
played Harriet Tubman.
She did, but I haven't watched it. Bad Times at the El Royale.
I haven't seen that. I
You
haven't
should
seen
see it.
that.
It's so good.
I don't blame you.
Okay.
I only watched it because Whitney made me.
And I can't even remember how it came on my radar, but some type of way, maybe it was on YouTube or maybe I was at the theater or something. And you know how sometimes stuff grabs you and it's like, this isn't my usual genre that I'm excited. I mean, I like all genres, but it's not like my top one.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, it grabbed me, and I actually own it on YouTube, where I can watch it on YouTube anytime. But the movie was just so good, so then I had to show it to everybody.
Okay,
that I
say that name
could.
again.
Bad Times at the El Royale.
Okay, I'm always.
I'ma
looking for
put in
new
the show
shows to
notes.
binge.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna write
This
that
one
down.
is a movie though. It has it has her in it, and it has Chris Hemsworth, who plays a really wicked character in it.
And it also has the dude from I don't know if you guys have ever watched Mad Men. John Hamm. He's in there too, but it's just so good. Like the way they filmed it, and just I don't know, the editing, the filming, the way they do it is just so good. I loved it. But that's the first time that she came on my radar, and she's like a singer in the movie. So I heard her like singing voice, and I'm just like, oh my God, she's amazing.
That girl can blow. She can blow.
So when someone comes onto my radar significantly, they kind of stay on. They get about 5 bad movies before they fall off.
Right.
Like they got a lot of leeway.
I like the quota there. Like you got a lot of.
That's fair.
You know how she adds. She like
and it has to be in a row, so they get
That's even more. That's grace.
I have a list for guys like that I like, and I'll just be like shifting them out. Like that's what I do. I'm like, oh, this is my new obsession. Like my new husband. I just like right now, Kingsley. We're gonna talk about it later, but Kingsley, who played Bob in the movie, he's my new top. Like he's Trevor Noah has been pushed down. Ben Barnes has been pushed down. That other black dude. Everybody's been pushed down.
Out.
I'm a fan of him.
Yes.
From the movie.
Yes, we'll get into it, but I'm going to let her finish blurting out. Blurt out, girl. Finish up.
Okay, so that was my first blurred out, so I'm excited about that wicked movie finally coming. And my next two, they're kind of related. So I listen to this podcast every once in a while. It's not one of the ones I listen to super regular. It's called Good One, a podcast about jokes. And he had a guest star on there, and his name was Rishikesh Hirway. And he had, the host had Rishikesh Hirway on there because he modeled his show off of Rishikesh Hirway's show. And Rishikesh Hirway's show is called Song Exploder. So then after they did kind of some clips from Song Exploder, I was like, that sounds really interesting. So then I listened. They did the Kiss from a Rose episode. So Song Exploder is this podcast where he will talk to like the artists and like producers or whatnot that make a certain song, and they'll break the song down. But it's also really produced. So they give them like him the like stems and stuff. So he'll like have like the stripped down parts, and like kind of as they're talking about it, he kind of plays like stuff in the background. So you kind of see how the song got built up.
Yeah. If you're like a music nerd like me, it's very interesting. I actually listened to that on one of my rides up from DC for work.
Which episode?
I listened to the Green Day one, the episode about Basket Case, only because I was driving and I couldn't change it to a different episode. I was like, let me just listen to one episode. And I was like, I like Green Day. So I was like, yeah, I had my punk rock phase back in school. So I was all into all the alternative music. I still like rock music. But I like Green Day, and I was like, that song was not my favorite song of theirs, but I liked hearing about how they made the song.
Yeah.
And what was going on, and it's very interesting to like see the journey of a song. And what it was and what it was intended, and then all these, and you're just like, oh wow, for real,
so fascinating.
So the concept for that podcast is very, very engaging. Because at first I was like, is this gonna be interesting? Is it gonna be no? As soon as he was talking, I just let him talk, and I was just listening, and I was like, oh, I need to get on that Seal episode next, because I love Kiss from a Rose. And you remain. Exactly. Get it? Can't be seen. Baby, if I could do a kiss from a rose on the grave. Ooh, or get a beautiful stranger in feels, yeah. And now that your rose is in bloom, the light hits the moon on the grave. Oh my God. I don't want the word. I never knew all the words. I just like the song. That was like, I love that song. I can't name any other Seal song, but that.
Yeah, I don't know what else that man does.
I know one other Seal song, Fly Like an Eagle, because it was on the Space Jam.
Oh, that was
Fly like an eagle into the future. Yeah, that was Seal.
Yeah, that was Seal.
I thought that was a white man singing it.
I knew it was a black guy.
It was Seal.
I knew it was a black guy. I just didn't know it was him.
Speaking of, the Space Jam soundtrack from the original Space Jam was just fire.
Everybody get up.
Wait,
it's
Seal?
time to slam down.
Wait, did
we
Seal do
got
that?
a real jam going down. Welcome to the Space Jam. Get your chance, do your dance at the Space Jam.
That is a fire
All
song.
right.
Come on now.
I gotta add that to a new playlist
Evergreen.
now.
Evergreen.
Right?
Anyway.
And then the Monstars, which is harder to find now. I'm gonna have to download. I'm gonna have to get the
Wait,
Space
how
Jam.
does that go with Seal though?
Song.
Yeah.
Yo, I just got a blast.
Hit 'em high. Hit 'em high, hit 'em high, hit 'em high, hit 'em high.
I don't even know what's going on. But how does
I
Seal relate to
remember-
that song?
Which song?
The Space Jam.
Fly Like an Eagle.
Fly Like an Eagle.
That was on the Space Jam soundtrack?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, sorry. I needed to make the connections. I needed to make the
But
connections.
it's a really cool show. So I don't listen to every episode, but I listen to a lot because if there was an artist I knew, even if it wasn't a song of theirs that I was familiar with, I listened to it. But some of my favorite ones that I listened to was Siddhartha Khosla, who apparently did the main title theme of Only Murders in the Building. And it's not one that I would have, you would have thought, but like it's so different because it's like a theme and it's like orchestral kind of too, but it's so interesting listening to him talk about how he put it together and hear like the background where they put in like the stems of how like it got built up. Also, of course, Seal, Kiss from a Rose, great episode. And Hozier, Nina Cried Power featuring Mavis Staples. That one was a great episode.
I've never heard that song, but I'm interested. That sounds like a very, very powerful song. Mavis Staples?
Yeah.
And Hozier, they did the Take Me to Church, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of in the song.
Yeah, they had a lot of
I
soul
know.
in that
not
song.
heard of that song until I listened to this podcast episode, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna have to add this to something."
That's a lot of in a song. So what's the name of that song again?
It's called Nina Cried Power, featuring Mavis Staples.
Wow, Nina Cried Power.
Yeah,
Everything will be in the show notes.
Yeah,
So don't
we'll
worry.
throw it in there. We'll throw it in there.
There's show notes. Okay.
Yeah,
sorry.
I always do the show notes.
Yeah, I was taking my own notes on my iPhone because I was like, "Oh, I want to remember that later."
Yeah, I'll do the show notes. All the information will be up in there. Maybe I'll put links. I'll put links to videos, songs, whatever you guys. So you're blurting out about the podcast Song Explosion.
Song Exploder.
Song Exploder. Excuse me.
Yes.
My bad. All right. That's
it.
cool.
That's
I'm not
it.
going to lie. That's awesome. All right. So we are going to now get into the review.
Okay.
All right. So we do first impressions. All right. So we're going to start with you, Asia. Tell us what your first impression was of the film.
This might sound messed up. I could not understand what they were saying.
Oh my God.
It took me a little while to
we did the
understand the
subtitles.
patois. I was like,
Nah,
they
you
should
ain't
have had
alone.
subtitles.
You ain't alone, chick. You ain't alone.
Okay, I thought it was just me.
It
No,
wasn't.
it was not
No,
just you.
It was not you. Apparently, it was intentional
Okay.
from what the research I had done.
Okay.
But girl, I would have loved to have some subtitles.
Right?
Okay.
Can't wait till
you
this
had to
comes
go
out
on
on
vibes.
streaming.
I'm sorry, but sometimes with Jamaicans and I remember I had a date with a Trinidadian. I did not understand him.
You
for
got
most
to
of the
go
date.
on their vibe. You got to just feel what they saying because
Right.
you're not gonna understand the words.
I
know
need
you gonna
they- I
understand
need
the
it.
feeling.
Because I'm gonna be creepy looking. Because I be trying to like concentrate. So then I'd be like,
I love
That's
how
how I was staring at the screen.
I love how in the film people were like, I didn't catch that. Like the white people were like, I didn't catch that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
we ain't catch it either. Okay.
And I came in a little late, so there was one point where everybody was like giggling. And I was like, "Dang, what did I just miss?" Because I don't know what he just said. But then after a while, I'm like, "Okay, I'm kind of understanding it." The music was great. It was great to just
Vibe.
see the bits of the passion that he put into the music. For me, I'm a huge music fan, and so I like to really go on that journey, like you were saying with that song explosion thing. Like that sounds awesome. So to kind of see, for instance, when they were doing the title art to the Exodus album,
Right.
or you know what this album, how that is different from what was first put out, and so why this is going to be so impactful to the people at this moment.
Okay.
So and then it's like, okay, well now when you sing Redemption Song, I'm like, oh, like it feels a little different, right? So you can kind of experience the words a little bit more because you know he had the insight. Now, other folks who follow Bob Marley, I wasn't a huge follower, so I didn't know. So maybe this was already out in the world, and so it exposed people like me who didn't know these things, who just was
don't worry.
jamming to
He
the
died before
music.
any of us were born, so I don't blame you. Yeah.
To get into the I don't want to say the psychology of it, but the philosophy of the music. So I thought that was
I like that.
a nice
Go ahead, Asia.
touch.
Got some fire like phrases.
I
right
told
now.
you I'm a nerd. I'm just hood. I be messing corporate America up. They don't know what to do with me.
I love that you just said that.
Hood nerd.
Oh my goodness.
But and then it was like to see his love for the people, right? So that was something that I took note of, because sometimes it gets harder and harder to be that way, and like just how society is, and tensions just seem to increasingly build, right? And then I think it's a concept in science that everything increases toward entropy, right? So toward like just chaos, right? So sometimes you can even feel that it's like palpable. It's like, oh, I can feel in the energy of the people, right? And so coming in the air tonight.
Oh Lord, I feel like you do that all the time. That's the one song you do all the time.
It's applicable to oh yeah, that drum solo is like fire.
And I'm a bass person because I used to play cello, so I love bass.
Yeah.
I love
bass. That lead up, man. I'm like,
awesome, right?
Y'all done brought Phil Collins in.
I know. I love. All right, Whitney, why don't you tell us about your first impression of the film? That's
my
what she
first
does.
impression was like,
stop. I'm sorry, Whitney. Go ahead.
My first impression was the trailer, and I'm not always, to be honest, not always. I'm not usually like a biopic type of person.
I love biopics.
Bola loves them.
I love them.
So Bola will when we do a biopic, it's usually because like Bola suggested it. But like looking at it, I was like, this looks really interesting when I saw the trailer for it.
And it had my husband in it. Sorry, my bad.
So I was just like, I'm actually interested in this, which is kind of it's interesting when you see something where you normally wouldn't be into it, but you're like, for some reason
it's pulling at you.
Yeah,
it's calling you.
Yeah. I'm intrigued. I want to see this. So that was like my first impression, was just like the trailer just drew me in. It made me interested to see it, and I'm also like you. I didn't know that much about Bob Marley. Like I know a couple of songs.
Of him.
Yeah.
But I didn't I'm not gonna lie to you. My first impression of the whole film was once I saw the trailer and my husband playing him, I was like, of course he's like the bio king person. The biopic king. That's what I call him. Anyway. But
that man
that's Kingsley. Just holler at your chick. If you're unmarried, just holler at your chick. Anyway. Let me stop, because I'm gonna get too much into him. I love him. I watched anything I saw him in. People got knocked down. Let's just say that.
Oh,
Jonathan Majors got kicked out because I was.
He's got to be out.
Yeah.
He's out now because I'm like, once those other two chicks came and be like, he assaulted me too. I was like, it's over. I don't know how long Megan Good gonna stay with his ass.
Once he called Megan Good Coretta Scott King, he was out for me. I'm like, all right, let's wrap it up.
Let me go. Okay, let me bring it back. Oh my god. Okay, so I was like, I remember I was just bobbing my head the whole time because the music in the film is just so palpable. It's so like vibe inducing. It's just like, I was just like, the whole time I was just there for the music. Like, that's my main thing. And I was like, oh, but I did not know much about Bob's life. And I really did not understand a lot about the Rastafarian faith and everything too.
That was really interesting to me.
Looking at all that stuff was interesting.
Of it, but I didn't know that it was a sect of Christianity. I knew of Rastafarianism,
it's like a mix,
and I knew it was like religious.
I wouldn't say Christianity. I would say a mix, because they mix like some Judaism in there too, because they're more on the new side. But you're right. It was
like Christianity in there too. So I'm like,
I would call it a sect of the Abrahamic faiths. That's what I would call it personally, just because I'm into theology.
Like other.
Yeah.
Like Christian, Muslim,
yeah,
Jewish,
it's like one of the sub ones
others.
In there. Yeah, I would say that.
Rastafari.
Right, because it's very interesting.
That part, I loved that. I kept saying it after the movie.
I know, Rastafari.
I
mean,
it's a phrase.
It's kind of
powerful.
cool. It's kind of cool.
It's cool and powerful.
Yeah.
Rastafari.
Okay, so as you guys know, I always do research and everything. But let me finish my first impression. But I enjoyed the film. I really, really did. Now, I do have some things I will get into when we talk about the negatives. Yeah. But ultimately, I thought it was a solid, good film. My first impression was like, I think they did a great job capturing his essence. Because, I mean, there's people talking about the different things about, the story. But I'm like, but I felt like since this was made by the family, it's so special. And it was like a slice of life thing. Because it wasn't like all of Bob's life. Yeah. It was just like this little slice of what happened to him that produced the Exodus album. So I took it there, so I kept it there. It wasn't like this sprawling where we need to find out everything. So I was okay with that. Some people were not, but I enjoyed what they did. Now, I only wish they had more of the concert. That when he came back to Jamaica, I was like, y'all cut it short. Like, y'all should have had some more scenes. It wasn't even a 2-hour film. Like, y'all could have put some more concert in here. I wanted more of the concert at the end, but I enjoyed the film and I enjoyed my man. Okay, now go ahead, Whitney.
I was just blown away near the beginning when the attempted assassination.
Right.
That was so crazy. And when they was coming for Rita, I was like, no. And she was something. And, like, when she lived after she got shot in the head, and they said the dreads saved her.
Hallelujah.
And it's funny because my brother ran track, and he used to like the people from like Eastern Virginia were always like doing really good, and he was like, yeah. You notice they all got dreads. I'm gonna get me some dreads. I'll run faster. And I'm
what does dreads have to do with running faster?
But he was just like a lot of the really good runners. They had dreads. So my brother was like, I gotta get me some dreads.
Oh yeah, Bob was running, yo. Bob was running.
But I was just looking. I was like, yeah, maybe there's something to it. Maybe it's like a Samson type thing. There's power in the dreads.
Well, that's it. That's what they say. There's power in your hair.
Yeah.
And they say
your
hair protects it. Those locks protect you.
And it did. It was crazy because I was like, that is insane that she survived that.
I'm just glad. Exodus, movement of Ja people. Sorry. I listened to, on the way home, I listened to the whole Exodus album. And then the next day, Sunday, we were driving up north to visit my cousin, and I was like, we gonna listen to some more reggae, okay? I was getting into my Sean Paul. I'm still in love with you, but... Oh, my God. I was into the music so hard. Like, all the songs on the Exodus album are beautiful. So I was like, I kind of rediscovered the songs that I didn't know that I hadn't heard because, again, like you just like, you always hear Bob Marley in passing, you see it, but it's not for our time because he died in 81. Like, none of us were born then. Yeah. So, but I do always remember seeing his image, the image of
that same image.
Yeah, everywhere.
And stuff.
Yeah. And even me, I was like, anytime I heard a song of it, I was like, nah, this is good. I like this. Play that. Every little thing's gonna be all right. Everybody knows that song. You know what I mean? I like how prolific his writing was. Like you were saying, it's like the philosophy behind the music. His life being for the people was almost like, I don't want to call him a martyr because I don't think so. I don't think he's that, but I liked how
like there's that type of
he had that kind of spirit of like sacrificing himself.
I felt like there was almost like a Christ-like
Messiah-esque thing that people saw in him,
especially because of the thing that kind of stood out to me was like, and maybe it was just because of the way the film story was told, because you know, in the Bible you kind of like Jesus is born and then you skip ahead to 33,
right?
Yeah.
Everything in between that is just like you don't really hear about that.
He was in India, I hear.
Oh, interesting.
So I grew up in a religion which could also be kind of seen as just a political party. I don't know if I would call it a faith, but I would call it, there's some religious aspects of it and there's some political associations. But anyway, he was in is it Egypt or India? I can't remember which one.
Who is he?
Jesus.
Okay.
Learning carpentry.
Interesting.
You think so?
The text says it. I'm not. That's what it is in the text. I'm just offering it up.
Okay.
Cool. I have not heard of that.
Yeah. Somebody listening, check on that and let us know what y'all think.
Yeah, because you just never know. There are so many historical texts.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There are.
But it was just interesting because the way they told the story, like, you know, they didn't do the whole from the beginning. They picked a specific spot, like the spot that was, you know, they told the story of him being for the people. And I felt like it was very similar to, like, you know, they tell the birth of Jesus, and then they kind of in like the
it's like you don't
King
have
James
all,
Bible or whatnot.
You don't have
it
all
skips
the
ahead.
Like the
you don't got all the
good
details
deeds up until
the
crucifixion.
You don't have all the details.
And I felt like it was very similar to the film. Like they would flash back to when he was a boy in the film, but like it was focused on him being for the people in this concert and stuff. So I found like a correlation.
Yeah. I could see how Bob Marley could be compared or seen in that light, because I feel like he lived his life in a way very similar to Jesus in that not being for self. That was the underlying thing. Because I think if you wanted to simplify and boil down Jesus to one thing, it's just like Jesus is love, which means myself is no bigger than yourself, and we're all kind of just the same thing. We're all in it together.
Yeah.
And so Bob Marley was very much that. Even you can see that even
unity.
with
All
the
the time is what he
money
talked
situation with
Right.
with the manager.
Yeah.
And so I just found that really interesting. And I also would have wished they went a little bit deeper in his development with him finding resolution in accepting, or Ethiopia kind of embracing him, and reconciling that with his father issues. Right?
You know,
So
he did go to Ethiopia.
Yeah, it was. So we saw that. Remember that like metaphor they carried throughout the movie. It was like them in a field,
Right.
And we saw his father leave on horseback. So we see this shadowy figure come through the. Okay, I thought about this a little bit, right? So come through the fire, kind of like baptismal by fire is what I saw, right? So now they're in the middle in this clearing, and for most of the movie,
Bless you.
Bless you.
God bless.
For most of the movie, you don't see who that figure is.
Yeah.
Until the end, it's an Ethiopian guy.
Yeah.
It's not his father. But we see him in the same image that we saw his father last.
Right.
And now that young boy is being taken. And now he's safe.
Oh my God, I want to add to that because you are like on the same point where I was, because I'm not going to lie to you. That was one of the critics not critique really, but it was just something I was trying to understand throughout the whole film. And I was like, I don't understand what's happening with this fire thing. I know it's important because they keep repeating it, but I was like, did something happen, or is this just a dream? What is it? And I could not like figure out where it was, contextualizing it, until I did send it to you guys, but I did watch that clip about Rastafari because I wanted to understand more about what they believe. And I found out that the Rastafari means, or Rastafarian, the word comes from the Ethiopian word Ra, which means king, and I think Tarfik was the guy that they based it off. He was like a Ethiopian head king or something, and it was like based off of him. So Ra Tarafik is Rastafari. It just kind of like went that way. And he looked exactly like the guy, because I was like, why is this a black person now? He looked exactly like that, and it was, I think, to show that he didn't care anymore that his white father rejected him, because Tarafik accepted him. He was embraced by him because that guy gave him that ring, which meant a lot to him from Ethiopia, and he was recognizing the Rastafarian people, and they had like a Rastafarian settlement in Ethiopia, and it was just like, it made so much sense. So I'm with you about that. It was like, I felt like the fact that we couldn't see his father was also because he only there was only one picture ever of his father. His father died really early.
Oh, he died?
Oh yeah, his father died his father was only 30 something as well. His father had a heart attack or something. He died in the 50s.
I thought he was just one of those, absentee.
No, he was. He was one of those, I can screw you, but I'm not going to be there for you kind of guys. Okay. Yeah, so he didn't care to raise nobody. He didn't want his son, whatever, even though the son looked like him, whatever. But I know that kind of thing, the abandonment of that, you can definitely see that, he was dealing with that. But I feel like he found acceptance in the Rastafarian faith, and the pillar of that faith, which was this guy, this king guy, Tarfik. And I'm sorry if I'm saying the name wrong, but it's like, I'll show you the video, y'all. I'll put in the show notes because y'all can understand what I'm talking about. But I was on the same page. Like, it was helping him to shape that. We don't know what his personal journey is, but I feel like they were trying to show that, or the family was trying to show that in some way. So I'm with you on that. But I liked understanding where the word came from and how much this faith kind of, for somebody who feels abandoned. Yeah. I didn't even know he was mixed, to be quite honest with you. I did not know he was mixed
about him.
Yeah,
I did not. And so I was like, oh my God, his dad's white? What? You know?
I didn't know that. Yeah.
And Kingsley's also have half white, half Trini. And people, I don't know if y'all know that. Kingsley Benadir, he's actually half white, half Trini.
Trini?
Trinidadian.
Oh, okay, okay.
So he's got, I was like, you really got the perfect, you really good to play this, because a lot of people are like, no, you too tall, you too handsome. And even he himself, in the interviews I watched, Kingsley was like, y'all sure y'all want to do this? He's like, do another search. Because he was like, I'm not the one to play this. Because he respected because he's from there's a lot of Afro-Caribbean people in England. A lot of the black people are descendants from Jamaica, the islands and stuff. So he's like, this thing is too big. I don't want to mess it up. He's like, I don't look nothing like him, and I don't want. He's like, this is not about Oscars or nothing. He's like, if we're doing Bob, we have to portray him right. So he even told them, go find somebody else, and then come back to me. And the family was like, no, you got the right essence. And then once they were like, it's on, then he was like, I'm going to do the work. And I really like that. He was not trying to defend himself. He's like, I'm not trying to do a copy or imitation. I'm just trying to really express Bob to everybody. And I really, really like, so all the haters, shut up, okay? I thought he did a good job. He was so captivating. I mean, he is beautiful to look at, but the first shot, I know you didn't see it because you missed the beginning, but the first shot where you just see him as Bob, his eyes, I was pulled into the film like that, like from the very beginning. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be good.
I do want to talk about one part of the film that I just found. I was just like, damn. And also found hilarious.
Right.
When he found out that his friend was like taking the money for like the African tour, and he went and confronted him, I'm like, dang, that's cold, man. Because he ain't punch him. He was like, I don't have enough respect for you to punch him. He like bitch slapped him.
I didn't realize he said that.
Yeah. Oh my God, Whitney was like, no, he didn't say that.
He
Whitney
didn't
saying,
okay. I'm saying what I saw. I was like, because usually a man's gonna come over there and
That's true.
But he was like bitch slapped him.
It was a bitch, where's my money type slap.
Right, Asia,
right.
right. Oh my gosh.
And I was like, damn, he don't have no respect for you because he ain't have enough respect to punch you.
And this is how you know Bob
was
was
hood. Pimp slaps, like bitch pimp slaps.
And this is how you know Bob was hood, because once he said that one comment, he came back with the chair, the folding chair. He's like, oh, you about to get it.
We about to go WWE up in here.
And I remember I told Lydia, like, remember that thing that happened last summer with the black people fighting the white people and the guy
what were they calling it? Oh, there were so many names for it. It was a moment. It was a Black History moment.
I was in for
the
it.
Alabama brawl.
Yes, the race brawl. That thing was so fun. I was loving all the merchandise, the earrings that came out, like with the chair.
The Alabama brawl.
That thing. But he took that folding chair. He was like, if these people didn't stop me, he's like, don't forget, man, I'm from Trenchtown, okay? Sorry about that, y'all.
But
it
was
I tried to go there. My Jamaican's not very good.
He was just like, I'm sorry to keep making the comparison, but it was another Christ correlation to me. It reminded me of Jesus in the temple.
Oh yeah, when he was like, he's like, I'm flipping this. I'm flipping this. My Father's house.
Yeah, right. And I was like, it was just another correlation for me. But I'm like, dang, man, he really don't respect you. He done bitch slapped you to the ground.
I have to say, Asia, I will say this. What did you think of how the actors did with the accents and stuff? Because they both, one, Lashana Lynch is Jamaican. And she's Jamaican. Both her parents are Jamaican. She's just British because she was a descendant, but they're Jamaican. So she felt drawn to the role. He's from Trinidad, proximity, not quite Bob, but everybody loved Bob in the islands. But so they both felt the culture really well, but they have British accents, But I felt like they did an awesome job. What did you guys think?
I didn't notice it not sounding Jamaican.
Right?
I mean, super Jamaican.
It was so very Jamaican. Believable to me.
It didn't
so
sound
Jamaican that I needed subtitles. Like,
yeah, it was super Jamaican.
The patois was twine, okay? And I didn't know what they were saying. I like the relationship they portrayed. Now, I did not know that Bob was a little bit of a hoe. He had a lot of chicks and a lot of kids. I didn't know that. And I was like...
He was out here.
He was out here
and
doing
being a hypocrite, too.
Right. I was like, how you going to roll up on Rita when you got like 3 other baby mamas?
But he loved her. He didn't want her with nobody else. You know, the typical... Just out here, just slinging that thing around.
I didn't even.
But
I had
you
to check
don't want
it.
your wife out here,
right?
No, you got to stay here to raise all my kids. I'm making out here.
I had to check it because I was just like, wait a minute, because I saw that she had 5 kids, but like 2 of her 5 kids are not his children. And then I was like, well, wait a minute, how many? And then I saw the long list under his. And I was like, oh damn. He had way more kids. Now I know Rita was mad in the movie.
He was out here Nick Cannon in it.
Oh my God, no you didn't.
I bet you in real life, Rita probably went upside his head a couple times.
Probably.
They're not going to show that in the movie.
They're not going to show it, but I'm sure she did.
I know she was.
I heard she was taking care of some of his children too. Some of the ones that she was taking care of because she was the wife.
Because she loved him too. She loved him deeply. Right. But I know she went upside his head.
But they did a good job. Any other perks that we want to talk about?
I want to talk about near the end because before the end, the gang leaders, when they came to him in London, I'm like, that just shows how powerful and how much of an impact he had. Because they're like, we are coming to you. We have made peace. Like, these were two gang leaders at odds. One of them possibly put out the hit on him. And they are coming to him now like, we need you to come back. We will protect you. I'm like, that is an impact. And then even like at the very end, when the guy who actually shot him,
oh my gosh, that was a redemption moment right
there. I was like, that is just, it was so powerful because it's like, he forgave that. And the guy came for forgiveness. Like, that is impact. That is such an impact. I was just...
The guy like looked at him incredulously because he was just like, I don't even know what to do with you. He was like, I wasn't expecting that. He was like, you. It was almost like he was in awe of him as he was going away because he was like, he couldn't say anything. He knew he was in the wrong, but he was like, just to be forgiven that easily and with that love and with that like forgiveness, he's like, oh my God. And then he just left. And I was like, oh my God, that really happened? That is amazing because he had the right to stay angry. I would have popped it. It's not me it was in the film because I don't think that would have went down the same way. But I agree. That part was really powerful.
I think what he did was more impactful than getting mad at the man.
Right.
Because if you do something to somebody and you feel bad about it, you want them to either be mad at you because then it kind of makes sense the guilt you feel about it.
Yeah.
But when they respond positively, like I've had people do me wrong and I respond to them positively, it makes them have to sit with that fit like, no,
look at what I did.
I'm not finna resolve you of that. I'm fine for me.
Yeah.
Good luck to you.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to respond angry because then you'll be like, well, what she did kind of fussed me out. So I guess, it evens out in the wash. Like, no, hold that. And I wish you well while you go and figure that out. Take your
the Lord's
stuff.
still working on me.
Take your baggage back with you, please.
Right. The Lord's still working on me. But I mean, that just goes to show like his spiritual, I'm not going to lie. There's a song on the album Exodus called Mystic something. Oh, Lord, I'm mad. But it's Mystic something. And you really see that on Bob. Like, he does have this kind of mystical quality to him. That
I feel like Rastafarianism in general feels very mystical.
Right.
I believe all black people are magic. We've just been taught to not. I think we all have that in us.
Yes. Black
Some
girl
other
magic.
people can recall it more easier than other people.
That makes sense.
They spend a lot of time, energy, and money and strategy into making us forget that. Because this is a tangent, but if you think about it, if the roles were reversed in slavery and we captured and were that brutal to people that look white, you think there'd be any white people living today? Do you think they could survive the brutality?
No. No.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And now we're left with the American black people. If your ancestors came from America, you're like the cream of the crop of the strongest and the bravest or the cunning, the most swift.
Right?
I understand that.
We are magic.
Right.
That's
true.
Good. It's interesting. Another tangent. It makes me think about I don't know if it was during the Bob Marley movie or it was another movie, but there was the first trailer for the movie, The Society of Magical Negroes.
Oh my God.
Which is a movie coming. I don't know when it's coming out.
It's a movie I wanted to see until I saw the trailer, and then I was like,
Is it not giving what we needed to give?
It does have that magical part, but the storyline was like a rom-com, and he ends up liking a white girl, and I'm just like, no. I was upset because I was like, I was hoping this would be something else. I don't know. I'm not interested.
The title, because I became aware of it because like the movie poster, and all it looked like some kind of old leather-bound book, and it had the title on there. I was like, ooh, intriguing. And then the trailer comes and it's like, not where I thought.
Exactly. And again, it's like black people saving white people from this or keeping them from that. And I'm like, what is happening with the storyline here? I thought it was about magical black people doing what they got to do, surviving and like being something more interesting. Yeah. But just to be thrown into the spot and you're like, you have to make sure this white person doesn't get mad. And then I was like, what is this? And then he's like, you have to help this white person stay happy. That's the whole point. It's like they're magical Negroes. They make the white people comfortable so they will stay happy so that life is better for the black people around them. And I'm like, I don't care for that at all. And
but it
then
might be
he
interesting.
started.
It might be a very tongue.
He started falling in love with the white girl that he's supposed to put with the white boy. And then, and I was just like,
I'll probably go see it just to be interested in how it turns out. But I was really kind of hoping for almost like a high fantasy type.
Me too. And
because we don't have a whole lot. So like that's why I just fell in love with like Watchmen and Lovecraft Country because it was like.
Historical.
I'm a fantasy sci-fi nerd. I'm many types of nerds, but I'm fantasy sci-fi, and there's not a whole lot when we make movies. A lot of our movies are like the BET movies, which are like Lifetime, but for Black people.
Yeah.
We're getting into American fiction now.
Yeah, I mean, but that's real.
Yeah, so I'm like, can we have some sci-fi, some fantasy?
We need a market for it.
Mm-hmm. But when you do, they get mad. Like, remember the backlash?
Lovecraft Country was like so successful.
That's if that's made for blacks. But if it's like you're trying to put black people where the white people are, then they get mad. Like they were mad about black hobbits in the sequel to the prequel Rings of Power to Lord of the Rings. They're like, so black people can't exist in the Hobbit, like they can't be hobbits. They were mad about the black people in the prequel to Game of Thrones.
Incels are funny because they're like, can't have a black mermaid.
That's what I'm saying. It's all of it. So it's like these things that were occupied by white people, they're like, we can't be there. And I don't like that.
Literally any color.
But I was like, why can't we be in those places? That's what I was mad about with the whole backlash, because it was like all these fantasy places that they wanted to interject black people in, and it was like, oh, no, you can't be there. Ariel has never been black. Like, this is a fictional character. We don't know what. She could have been purple. Y'all would have to deal with it. Like, come on.
Wakanda's way more lit anyway.
Thank you. That's my happy place.
Everybody want to be in Wakanda anyway.
The food tastes better there. I know.
Anyway,
already,
so
it smell like cocoa butter. I know. So we fine over here in Wakanda.
All right, I want to get into the. I want to get into the
quick aside.
Okay.
That reminded me of the SNL episode with Chadwick Boseman when he was like,
the potato salad.
Yeah.
Hell no, Karen. Keep your bland ass potato salad to yourself. I'm gonna send you the clip.
We'll
that
have
shit
to
is
put it in the
funny.
show notes.
It's like Black Jeopardy. It wasn't.
Yeah,
it's called
that's
Black
what
Jeopardy.
it is. It's a segment.
It is hilarious.
Kenan Thompson did called Black Jeopardy.
Oh my god!
So he kept giving like very refined answers, and it would be Kenan would be like, nah, man. And he was like, oh, I think I finally understand now how this game goes. It's hilarious. You got to see it.
Okay,
you got to see it.
Okay.
Sorry.
For the time, I want us to get into the negatives. Okay. So there were a few things though that did like. That I listen to the critics, not that I pay attention to them or I believe everything they say, but I was trying to understand the criticism, because I was like, okay, everybody's watching the film, let's see. Because again, I thought this was a great film, but I was like, I will do the rating at the end, but I did not rate it like a full on like we normally do. And I was like, there were some things in the film that I was just like, okay, this could have been done better, or this could have been like some more. And I think it was because the music, the expression, the art, and the all the other elements were there. But I think there was some plot holes in the fact that they were like, there's some things where you're like, okay, why put it in if you're not going to linger on it? It's like, okay, we want to really talk about Bob in this particular moment, but then we do have to like, let's touch on, but we only have this one scene about them fighting, or we only have this one thing about his life. Like, that's where I was like, we kind of need a little bit more. If you're going to bring these things up, we just need a little bit more, And that's why I was so confused about that whole scene with the fire. I'm glad I went back and read that thing, and you said it too, because it made me think and understand. But I didn't get it while I was watching it. And I was like, what's this about? And I was like, at the end of it, I still don't know what this is about. So there were a few points in the film where I was just like, this part is like, I wish they had shown more of the friend that was skimming money.
Yes.
I wish they had shown just a little bit more parts. Just a little bit more parts to be like, oh, so he was so nice, so kind, so believing of the people around him that he wasn't checking for stuff. But I wanted, like, they only had it in a few scenes. Maybe like one or two, and then it just blows up, and you're just like, well, where was that? Like, is this a real big issue? Like, I mean, I get y'all trying to show that, oh no, when he was about business, but at the same time, it was like, this is like a big deal. Like, this guy was like stealing money from him, or that's what I'm not sure what he was doing, but he wasn't doing the right thing. So stuff like that, or the issue with him and Rita. Like there was this one scene where there was just a pretty girl that just came to his door, and then you just kind of have to infer what happened.
Assume they did it.
I was like, why was she there?
The payphone scene when he was calling Rita,
Yeah,
and the white girl was in the background, and I was like, this is an interesting framing,
right? And I was like, what's going on?
I'm like,
here?
I'm gonna believe that Bob's being faithful until we got later in the movie, but I was like, this is suspicious framing.
Exactly, because then you just don't know what he was doing.
You know, maybe Jamaican men.
I know, but I was just like certain parts. I felt why people had that complaint about the film, that there was some plot holes in the story. But again, this was from the family, and this is what they wanted people to know about Bob. They didn't want to do like this whole sprawling, full on. Like, this is all about his life. They're like, no, we just want you guys to see a depiction of Bob in a different light. Maybe you learn a little bit more than you did know, but I was content to be where it was. But just for story purposes, there were some plot holes and things that I was like, this could have been extended. Like I said, I think they should have added more to that concert scene at the end. And apparently at the end of that big concert that did a lot for helping out with the Jamaican issues, that in the real Bob took the two leaders that were on the sides that were fighting, not the gang leaders, but the two political leaders. And he like brought them together and put their hands together.
But I thought they showed that in the end when they were showing actual
footage. But why can't they just let the Bob that we were watching, why can't they just extend the concert and go to that?
I liked that they showed actual footage.
I don't know.
I like the ends of biopics. Like I think they did in Queen too. Like, you know, when they did that last show in Africa, that was like Freddie Mercury's last show with Queen. So, but I could see what Bola's saying. If they did like just longer in that biopic before showing the real footage. They did in Tina Turner too with Angela Bassett.
Right.
But they give her some time to let it cook first before they bring the footage of Tina Turner. So they could have like extended.
They could have extended. Like to me, the ending of this film was too abrupt. I just thought they needed a little bit more. Over. Me too. I wanted more, especially of that ending scene. I really wanted more. And also the issue with the skin cancer, everything.
Yeah. I was mad about that. I'm like, so you don't want to lose like a toe or whatever, you gonna die rather than lose this toe.
Is it something in the religion that prevents?
No, I just think it was just nothing he was trying to get done. It could have been like he's just like, I'm not gonna bother with this. This is not. Maybe he just really thought he was gonna be invincible, or he's not gonna worry. Like,
well, he said his life, he wasn't worried about his own life. He lived for a greater purpose.
That is true. So. Maybe it was because he wanted to get back in time to do that concert, so he didn't. That actually makes it more noble. Okay, never mind.
I think it came more from a noble place. I think his priorities were like
focus
literally
on the message and the peace and because he wanted to travel. He wanted to go to Africa. He wanted to do so many things. It's just unfortunate that he didn't get his health in check so that he could have stayed longer to actually do those things. But I also like that they showed, even though everyone knows him for being a peace-loving person, but he's still a person. They showed that he struggled with things, like the issue with his father not wanting that, or like that him leaving, having to be in, he called it exile, which I liked the word exiled, but he had to leave because he was like, I can't believe my people tried to kill me, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, what are they doing? What was he doing that they wanted to kill him so bad? I didn't see it because I'm like, somebody who's talking peace. He's not taking sides. Now, why did they want to kill him? I didn't get it. No, you understood why they want to kill Martin, because Martin was about trying to uplift black people, and they didn't want that. But here in Jamaica, this was about peace and unify. They just got rid of England as their overlord and stuff. So I was like, he was all about, hey, I'm doing a unity concert for the people of our country. We're all the same color. So I was like, why are y'all trying to shoot him? I don't know why. To me, I was like, I didn't understand why they tried to attack him. Do you guys get it? Because I didn't.
I think it's about power. Like, when people want power that badly, they are willing to take out anybody who gets in the way of that. Yeah. And people united makes it hard for like the ones at top to be like truly in power.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it was. It was about power and not wanting someone who was gonna make the people like just
unify.
Yes, unify.
So they didn't want that. They wanted
against people that were against unity.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes more sense to me then. So if it was about their targeting a unifying presence and they wanted division,
but it's the same thing. Like you think about like Martin and Malcolm. Like Martin was about peace, but
Literally
they're like,
anybody who
that's
tries to
true.
unify
Mhm.
in any way, because
Right.
anywhere you got humans, you got power dynamics.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Even in the
yes.
office space.
Yes. Yes.
that is true.
If someone went around, if you're in a toxic workspace and
Mhm.
someone was trying to or was getting people to say, hey, do you feel like this is toxic, XYZ, let's write a letter,
Mhm.
that person's going to be a target.
Yep.
And be seen to be extinguished
Mm-hmm.
because
Start
they
of
trying
many
to
a cold
unify
case
people.
episode.
You
Right.
messing up the power dynamics.
Right.
Excuse me, I'm trying to oppress.
Right. Exactly.
You're
That is
disturbing my
true.
oppression.
That could
That is
be it.
true.
That could be it.
You see it so often. I don't know.
You
Everybody
see it
knows the name
everywhere.
Gandhi, but I don't know that much about him. But it's like he was supposed to be about peace.
Gandhi
and
has
it's
a biopic.
Yeah, but it's like so many people who are about peace, like people try to murk him all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the
the
people that's
devil.
not about peace
Mm-hmm. The devil at work.
will
He
kill
don't
you
want none of
because they
us.
don't mind, because that's not their thing anyway. That's
Yeah.
your thing.
That's
So while you're over there
There's
being peaceful,
profit in
they'll
division.
kill you.
There's
yeah.
and then there's always profit in somebody's profiting, whether it's power or some other way. Somebody is profiting off division, and that
Yeah.
is why it's constantly there.
Yep.
Constant, because they know if we unify and come together, we could do many things. You know, like,
True.
but nobody wants to do that. Like, look at our country right now. Anyway, let's not get
Yep.
into that. But because I just was confused about, because I was like, he's not a political person. He was not taking sides on the issue. He was just like, I want peace for the country, peace for the people. So that's why I didn't understand why he was a target for them. And he's like, I'm just putting on a concert. This is a music concert.
and free concert.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I was like, why y'all try to murk him? Like, you.
It was like,
Anyway,
F you.
I know, right?
Concert out of here. That was terrible. Sorry.
Oh man. I mean, but I honestly, I did enjoy this film a lot. I mean, I just think it's like a love letter from the family to their
Yeah.
father
Yeah.
and to all the people that love him and maybe don't know nothing about him too. Because I learned a lot. I was like, wow, I didn't know none of this.
Yeah,
I just knew that
know
one song.
Very, very little.
Now I know
about him.
Exodus, movement of Ja people, and the love songs that he came out with. The I just want to love you. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know. There's some good songs. Y'all go listen to the Exodus album
Yeah.
because it is good. All right. Do anyone want to add anything else to the review?
I appreciated what the movie brought, which was, like I said, the insight to like why the words he said, why he said them.
Right. Celebration of life.
And then I actually had a cousin who passed away a couple of years ago, cousin Glenn, who at his funeral, the song as it carried his casket out, he requested it be "One Love" by Bob Marley. He was a really heavy Bob Marley follower,
Right.
Okay.
like really into Bob Marley. And so it made me even kind of revisit that, and I was like, wow, what a power. I mean, it was just a good song.
Yeah.
And a good word was preached, and it kind of lifted up our moods at a very sad occasion. And I was like, wow, thinking back on time, what a wonderful song to kind of end a celebration of life ceremony.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was so good. And I think the family did a great job of being honest about who he was while still protecting his legacy. Because
Yeah.
we could tell that man was slinging that thing from here to Timbuktu. But they kept the conversation about the music and the message.
Right.
Yes.
Because nobody's perfect. So I think it was honest, but I think it was a good nod to his legacy.
I will ask you
like
guys
that.
this last thing, and then we can get into the review. So, there was so many of his hits and everything in the film, and I think that's like one of the best things was how much of his music was in the film. But One Love was not in the film. Did y'all notice that? The actual
just like
song,
a little
his name,
snippet, just a
like
little bit.
I don't even think he sang it really. Like One Love, I don't know if it was. It wasn't actually.
I
It
think
wasn't in the film.
Played for just a brief second, but
You
it
mean at the
wasn't-
end? At the
no,
end,
it
like
was
during
like
the
a
credits.
scene. It was a scene. Something was happening. I can't remember. I saw it today,
Okay.
but it was like, ding, and then
Okay.
it just went
'Cause
to
I
the
was
next
like,
thing.
I
So
felt
they
some
didn't
kinda way. I was like, why
highlight
didn't
it
you
with a
put that in the
performance.
film?
They did not
Okay.
perform it at all.
Okay.
Not that I remember.
Okay.
I was like, they should have put that in there. That was the only other
It
thing.
makes
that,
me think about those songs where you never know what the name of the song is because what the kind of chorus is isn't the name of the song.
right.
So that kind of reminds me of that. It's like the movie's called One Love, but you don't have really
One
much
love.
of.
Yeah. In the
Yeah.
song. Yeah. All right. Are we ready for review?
Yeah. Ratings.
Yeah. Okay, so this is how we review the film. We give a rating and out of 1 to 10, and we actually use glasses. Now, we also use a monocle and a contact lens, and here's what we do. So if you want to give it a half a point, it's like whatever the glasses and a monocle. So if you want to give it like a 0.25, it's a glasses and a monocle and a contact lens. No, the contact lens is the 0.25, right? So try not to be too messy with the math because she does the math. I don't do it. But if you want to give it like 7.5 or 8.5, you say 7 glasses and a monocle. Does that fit?
But if you want 7.75, it's 7 glasses,
A
monocle and a contact lens. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, that's So 0.25 is a contact lens.
Monocle,
0.5 is a whole point is a glasses.
0.25 is a
Contact lens. Yeah.
I got the
All right,
formula.
so we're gonna let you go first, unless you need some time to think about your rating.
See what I rated. I guess.
You can be honest as you want.
I enjoyed it. I mean, I'm not a huge movie connoisseur. Some folks that get real serious about it. Hey, so I guess I'll give it a good 7 glasses, a monocle, and I don't know, 3 contact lenses.
I think that's 8 now. 8.25.
Oh yeah, I could have consolidated 2 contact lenses to a monocle and then
yeah. Okay. Sorry, we made this concept.
I did not reduce the fraction.
It's okay. We made this complicated.
8 glasses and a contact lens. 8.25.
8.25.
Okay. I'm going to give it 7 glasses and a monocle. And again, like I've always said, if you get a 7 from me, it's a solid film. He got extra because I love Kingsley Benadir's face. And he just, his performance was phenomenal. And I don't really care if they put him for awards, whatever. I just think he did such a great job transforming himself. I like actors that can transform themselves into the person. Because, you have actors that they're like themselves every role.
Like Beyonce. I love you, girl, but Beyonce.
She can't act. We love her, but she can't act.
Beyonce in any room.
Exactly. She can't act. She can't transform herself. But people like Meryl Streep or I don't know, some other people.
Depp.
Johnny Depp, yeah. They transform into the person, and I mean, he's been doing it. I saw him as Obama. I saw him as Malcolm X. I'm shocked that he was another person, another iteration. So I just had to give it extra for that. But it was awesome, and I love the Exodus album.
All right. Well, I'm going to give it 7 glasses, a monocle, and a contact lens. So
Woo-woo!
7.75.
All right.
And I don't really have so much anything that I can point to specifically for me as to why it's not higher, because I enjoyed it, but it's just not for me.
It's not a 10 right now. It's not a 10.
It's not a 10. It's not an 8. Like, how sometimes it's like I can't point to something that's missing, but it's just not at that level.
Yeah.
I think they should have made it longer, and then again interweave some of those points where they had only one scene about that thing. If they had interweaved some things earlier in there, then it might have been more full. So there's just some plot points. I think that's the issue.
For me, I can't point to that. I just know for me it's not quite there. Like 7, very solid. Anything 7 above for me is, again, a good movie, really good, solid movie. I just can't get there. And that made for some very messy math, ladies. It's 7.83. We don't even have an equivalent. So it's like 7 glasses,
all right, it's
a monocle, a contact lens, and then that ripped contact lens.
Let's just round.
Oh Lord, now we're getting into ripping.
Let's not. Let's just do basic math and round it. What was the number?
7.83.
So we just going to it's a 8. Let's just round up.
8.
Let's round up. 8 glasses
Give
for
it an extra
Bob Marley.
a couple point.
All right, y'all. One love before we go out. One heart. Let's get together and feel alright. What about the children? Y'all supposed to come on.
I don't know the song like that. I'm sorry.
Let thanks and praise to the Lord and be alright. All right, guys. So, Asia, thank you again for joining us. You are so awesome for joining us today. I hope you can come back again. We love having guests. I know if you're not a big film watcher, but whatever. Sometimes we review TV shows too.
Yeah.
So if there's something interesting, holler at us. We can do an episode about it. Okay.
Let me know. Hit me up. I'll pop in, pop out.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us.
All
right, right, everybody. We're going to tell you. I hope you enjoyed this month of love and blackity blick black blackininess.
Blickety black.
And just, again, one love, y'all. Unify in these days and times, right, y'all?
Come together.
And she always sings this one,
right now. Over me.
I can't stop it. I can't. All right. We're going to blurt out, everybody, because we're going to have a jam session, apparently. Bye, everybody.
Stay black.
Yes. Blurt out. Bye. Thanks for listening to our podcast. Please subscribe to our show on whatever podcast listening app you use and share the show with other blurs and non-blurs, family and friends. And if you like this episode, please subscribe to our email newsletter at blerdtalkbw.ck.page and also rate and review our show on Apple Podcasts.
Intro and outro music is Twilight by Caption. You can find them on SoundCloud, username Caption spelled CAPSHUN. Show notes by Bola, Hanson, audio engineering by Whitney Booker.
And don't forget to get social, you guys. You can email us at blerdtalkbw@gmail.com. And our social media handles on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok is at BlerdTalkBW. And our YouTube channel is youtube.com/@BlerdTalkBW. And we've got our individual things going on too. You can find the Triple F Queen on Instagram at Triple F Queen B as in boy. And my YouTube channel is youtube.com/@Triple F Queen B.
And you can find me, Whitney, at Luminabi Studios, my company. And the email address is wit@luminabi.com, spelled WHIT, @LUMENABI.com. And you can also find me on Twitter at Luminabi Studios.